Job's wife. She appears once and disappears. Who is she? After a tragic event when a devil hurts Job, takes away his kids, flocks, and wrecks his crops, Job starts feeling pain himself. Then, out of nowhere, we meet a new character, Job's wife. But who is Job's wife, and where does she go after showing up? Some say she's like the devil, harming her husband. Others see her as just a sad woman attempting to relieve her own suffering. There are several versions that mention Dinah, Jacob's daughter. We're going to find out more about her today. Let's begin. Then Job took a piece of broken pottery and scraped himself with it as he sat among the ashes. His wife said to him, "Are you still maintaining your integrity? Curse God and die." He replied, "You are talking like a foolish woman. Shall we accept good from God, and not trouble?" Job 2 verses 8 to 10. This is the only time Job's wife shows up in the book of Job. After this, she isn't mentioned again, and we don't know what happened to her. Job had 10 other children at the end of the book instead of the children who died at the beginning. But were these from the same woman? While her name isn't given in the biblical accounts, there are hints throughout the Bible that help us understand her role. Even though she doesn't play a significant role in Job's story, she seems to emphasize Job's righteousness. He replied, "You are talking like a foolish woman." Job 2 verse 10. She could be interpreted as a kind of Satan in the story, seeking to harm Job. She gets Job upset by saying, "Curse God and die." This reminds us of what Satan said. "And he will surely curse you to your face." Job 1 verse 11. She is a representation of the devil on earth, and just like the devil incited and disappeared, so did the woman. Now, whether Job is calling his wife foolish or bad, or maybe hinting at something inappropriate, he's shown as a good and faithful person. He's trying to explain to his wife, who's not doing what she should, the basics of faith. Shall we accept good from God, and not trouble? Job 2 verse 10. Despite their attempts to incite Job to curse God, he does not do so. The biblical author uses the woman cynically to illuminate the character of Job. Ignoring her name, he depicts her as an unreal, inhuman, wicked being. Job's wife, the secondary character, is the one who encourages him to express his inner feelings. His reaction is a strong reaction of rejection. It may appear that Job justifies God on the surface. It is possible that his harsh reaction stems from his fear of himself and the fact that his wife's words touched his hidden feelings. There is a hint of this in the words. In all this, Job did not sin in what he said. Job 2 verse 10. We can compare this verse with the verse in chapter 1 where it says, "In all this, Job did not sin by charging God with wrongdoing." Job 1 verse 22. In the end, it's clear that Job didn't curse, but he sinned in his heart. Job's wife entering the story shows another side of Job's experience, revealing the gap between them caused by his suffering. This idea suggests that Job's suffering elevated him, while his wife remained stuck in the same place. She understands that Job has little hope left in his world. She echoes Satan's words, not to tempt, but because she sees the harsh reality. Not only that, but she thinks there's no hope in this situation, and it might be better for Job to die. Being Job's wife, she loses everything: her servants, animals, crops, her status, and even her children. Despite everything, Job is still alive. In her eyes, who else can she blame or be angry with but Job, under whose feet everything crushed? So, it seems Job's wife's words aren't meant to tempt, but are the result of a broken heart and the anger of someone who has lost everything. What happened to Job's wife is a bit clearer in a special book called the Testament of Job, or the Words of Job, written between the 1st century BCE and the 1st century CE. In this book, Job's wife is looked at in a good way. In the Bible story, Job's wife doesn't have a name, and after she says some troubling things, she disappears. But in the Testament of Job, she's called Uzit. Giving someone a name is like saying, "Hey, you matter." Without a name, it's like she doesn't exist. With the name Uzit, the Testament of Job writer brings Job's wife to life. He doesn't stop there, he talks about the good things she does. In this book, Job's wife is devoted to him. She's ready to do things that might make her look bad or lose her dignity just to take care of him. In the Bible story, there's this idea that something evil is speaking through Job's wife, like a demon behind her. But in the Testament of Job, the writer gets rid of this idea. He says that Job's wife isn't connected to evil. As well as Job, Satan tries to mess with his wife as well. Another idea about Job's wife is that she might be Dinah, the daughter of Jacob. A second book called Pseudo-Philo, written after the destruction of the Second Temple and containing the entire Bible story from creation, discusses Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, as Job's wife. According to the story, Job married Dinah after the events in Nablus involving Simeon and Levi. They have a big family, 14 sons and 6 daughters. 7 sons and 3 daughters are born before Job faces some tough times, and then another 7 sons and 3 daughters come after God steps in and restores Job's life. Dinah, like a lot of people, gets really upset with all the suffering. She cries out and rebels against it. But Job, even though he goes through a lot of problems, stays quiet and accepts everything. Job and Dinah, his wife, both lose kids, property, and their social standing. Dinah not only faces terrible things but also has to take care of a husband who's not doing well mentally. Considering all the ups and downs in Dinah's life, it's not surprising that she gets mad at Job. Her cry against suffering makes Job think about his faith differently. Psalm 14 also uses the vile epithet Job uses to slander Dinah. The fool says in his heart, "There is no God." They are corrupt, their deeds are vile, there is no one who does good. Psalm 14 verse 1. Sexual violence is also referred to as a lewd act in the Bible. Jacob was told this after the rape. They were shocked and furious, because Shechem had done an outrageous thing in Israel by sleeping with Jacob's daughter, a thing that should not be done. Genesis 34 verse 7. Also, it appears in the story of Tamar, David's daughter, who says to Amnon after the rape, "No, my brother," she said to him. "Don't force me. Such a thing should not be done in Israel. Don't do this wicked thing. What about me? Where could I get rid of my disgrace? And what about you? You would be like one of the wicked fools in Israel." 2 Samuel 13 verses 12 to 13. Although Job does not accuse his wife of sexual intrusions, he points out the level of harm and violence she has embodied in her words. It is his request that she allow him to be in his sorrow, in his suffering. It is her insistence that he be confronted with suffering, not only his own but also hers. Dinah's defiant question. Are you still maintaining your integrity? Curse God and die. Job 2 verse 9. While talking, she also wondered about her life. How much tough stuff can we handle? Is it worth living after a traumatic rape and tragic loss? Our ability to handle tough times is connected to our skill in taking apart and putting together stories, and finding new meaning in hard times. The story of Dinah, Jacob's daughter, and Job's wife teaches us that going through human suffering and tough times is not a choice but something we go through, get past, and move on from. Every time something gets broken or hurts, there's a chance for new life and rebuilding afterward. From the depths of suffering, the raped girl and the silenced sister became a powerful woman who knows how to be reborn, and her daughters received names, places, and inheritances. We hope you learned something new today. If you did, give this video a like and share it with your friends. You can share with us what you know by leaving a comment below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more informative and entertaining content. Thank you so much and see you next time.